Good afternoon, everyone. Ken Angst here with the Angst Real Estate team. Today on our podcast, we're actually talking about asset protection. We have one of our newer vendors in. Her name is Samantha Amato.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing today?
Doing great.
So we are talking about some of the topics that I've covered late last week. We want to make sure that all of our clients, our subscribers, anyone out there that is watching this video knows about all the different asset protections that are out there for you and your family. So, Samantha, tell us a little about yourself, tell us a little about your firm, and what do you do?
Samantha Amato, and I've been an attorney since, California 2008 and Nevada 2009. And I have Amato Law. We primarily focus in estate planning, and I also do some immigration law as well.
Okay.
But primarily, estate planning is kind of my passion since law school. So I've just loved getting in that world and trying to help family members in what I consider your most difficult time, and trying to have them prepared and ease that pain.
Right.
So that's typically what I like to do.
Fantastic. So you are also licensed in California too. So do you do trusts in California too?
I do.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that's important, because we obviously live on a border that
Exactly.
a lot of people go back and forth, so that's good to know. So we're just going to kind of rapid fire, put her a little pressure on her here, and kind of go down some questions that I personally have, and hopefully it helps everyone out there. So
Sure.
first things first, can you tell us the difference between a family trust and a will? Because there's a lot of people out there that get these cheapo wills off the internet, and it's one page. So what is the difference? It's a big.
So the biggest difference is a will is going to land you and your entire estate in probate. A trust will completely evade probate if it is properly funded by transferring your assets to the trust. So a trust is a little bit more work up front, because you have to fund it. You have to transfer your home, your bank accounts to the name of the trust, or put the trust as a payable on death beneficiary, something like that. Where a will, you really don't have to do anything but sign the will. But the problem is then your heirs have to do everything, and they have to do it through the court with, they've got a judge monitoring everything. You can't sell normally a home. There are some ways to get around this, but typically a home, even in a probate, is sold through the probate judge, who is going to hold an auction. And where a trust is much more private, nothing is in the court. Everything is confidential, which is important, including your inventories of your estates or your accountings. And you don't have to sell a house through a trust. You just go through your normal process.
Right.
You don't have to go through the courthouse, setting after you get an offer, then set a hearing a month or two later, because the courts are behind with COVID. Although most of ours are pretty caught up. They've done an amazing job. But it's still, you've got to publish, so there's still probably about a month out, and that can hold up a sale. So
absolutely,
a trust is just an overall better option.
Great.
Mostly the biggest thing is it gives your family peace of mind that they don't have to go to probate.
Right. So I guess we're dealing with a lot of trustees selling their homes right now. People have passed away. We deal with trust companies and trustees all the time, and I can tell you that we're in one right now. Just hand over the trust and the certificate, and it's kind of like almost like a normal sale. We can do it very quickly, just like a regular sale. So I want to go into why a trust, and I want you to specifically talk about, because we deal with a lot of people who have young families. What happens to the kids? What happens? Talk about kind of the health aspect of it as you kind of set up on what happens to you, and then the trustee kind of makes the decision. So why a trust?
Well, when I do a trust, it's not just the trust. I do a whole trust package. It's a big binder. I do a trust. I do a bunch of backups in case you refinance your house down the road, and they take your home out of the trust and they forget to put it back in.
Okay.
Well, my backups will get you a one-time hearing at the probate court, opposed to a pour-over will, assignments. Get you a one-time hearing at the probate court, opposed to a year-long probate, just to get everything transferred to the trust. So all of these backups are in your trust package. So you do have that will, the pour-over will, which says everything goes to my trust. You have the assignments, maybe you have a declaration of intent, but you also have power of attorneys.
Great.
So you have financial power of attorney, healthcare power of attorneys, and you should have a homestead as well.
Okay.
All of those are designed to protect you. The power of attorney for financial, power of attorney for healthcare, and homestead are primarily for while you're alive, but the homestead will also help you upon your death as well by securing you from unsecured
Now,
creditors.
in that trust, you can kind of designate who gets your kids if something happens, if you have young kids,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
So how does that work? You kind of set beneficiaries
do-
or trustees or?
You can do guardianship nomination.
Okay.
So if you have children, I typically throw a clause in a trust, both and the trust and the will, that has your guardianship nomination, so that you can nominate who can be the guardian. Now, if your child has a biological parent that's in the picture, they're going
Makes it
to
more
obviously be the first default.
Okay.
So, but you can still nominate somebody in case something has happened to both of you.
Right.
So that is always important, and that's where I would say that the majority of my clients are coming in because they've got kids and they want to make sure, well, I want a guardianship, and then on top of it, I don't want my little 10-year-old to get $100,000 cash and have him
Blow it.
spend it on video games or something.
Right.
Or my 16-year-old, I don't want them to have a Lamborghini. So we're able to put minors on a maintenance trust and just have the trustee manage it for them.
Yep,
So that
so
they
good.
get everything taken care of.
Great.
And you can pick any age. You don't have to do 18. You can do 21, 25. You can pick those age. And we have so much freedom with trusts. I tell my clients I design it for them to be in their late 90s or early hundreds.
Right.
So it's done once their entire lifetime, and we go through some horrible scenarios of what
Right.
happens if this person passes or this person, so that it's all done in one package. And if somebody predeceases them or the surviving spouse, they don't have to do anything.
Great.
It should all be taken care of.
Yeah, so a lot of people out there, I can tell you for sure, aren't doing this. If you have kids, any kind of assets, I guess one of the last questions I want to ask you, and then we'll show them your name and number and have them call you. What about, and the question I get all the time is, at what level do I need a trust? Is it $10,000? Is it when I buy a real estate? Why do I need a trust when my real estate, I just bought a house 3% down? So at what level do you recommend people start to look into this?
I typically suggest that you have a trust if you own a home, even if you have a mortgage on it, or if you have $100,000 in some sort of asset somewhere. That's typically the number where the court is going to say, you can't just do a one-time hearing. You're now going to be into some sort of, we call them summary or general administration, but it's basically a full-blown probate. I mean, you're going
Okay.
through the whole steps of the probate at that time. So I typically say, okay, if you own a house, let's just get it done now. You don't want to have to sit there and watch, well, has my equity gone up? Has my equity not gone
Right.
up? So I just say, if you own real estate, just get it into a trust. Even if you're under 100,000, it's just better to have it set up so that if the way the market's going and it skyrockets,
That's actually a very good point.
It's just already
Very
done.
astute point. That's very good. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing prices jump by 10% almost every sale. So
Right.
you can have equity instantly. So enough about trust. I want to talk about one of the things that we do for our customers that a lot of people don't know what's out there, and it's the homestead. And it's not like your homestead like in the 1800s.
right.
A lot of people think this 1800s. And the big news that she pointed out when we were discussing earlier is the amount is up since last year. It's up to from 550 to 605.
Yep.
And I can tell you, based on what I talked to other people around the country, is Nevada is one of the few that still has a very good homestead. Like California is really low.
Yes.
So can you kind of talk about what is a homestead and what does it do for our clients? Because some of our clients are looking at us like aliens because we're on them like, hey, you got to get this done. Got to get this done before when you close on your house. So.
First of all, no matter where you live, a homestead's a great idea. California, even though it's lower than us, I still always do a homestead. Our homestead in Nevada is why we have a lot of people. It's one of the reasons that drives people to come to Nevada, especially people who are retired, because they want to protect the equity in the home. So a homestead does exactly that. It protects up to $605,000 of equity in your house from unsecured creditors. So who's an unsecured creditor? Credit cards, medical debt, secured creditors, the IRS, your mortgage, something along those lines. They're secured creditors.
Right.
So what happens is, let's say there's something unexpected that happens, a car accident, COVID, medical bills,
Right.
just unemployment, and you're living off, credit cards or something, and your credit cards build up to be too much, and you just are feeling smothered. So the homestead is primarily designed to help somebody out with bankruptcy. So you could file bankruptcy, get rid of your credit card, your medical debt,
Protect your
and
dwelling.
still have your house as long as your mortgage allows you to do so, which most of them wouldn't do so, I would assume, because you affirm that debt. The other reason why people do it is for upon death and estate planning. So we never know how somebody is going to pass. We don't know if there's going to be medical debt. Everybody, as a senior, typically says, well, I have Medicare and it's 100% coverage. And I go, great. Do you have a long-term care plan? Because Medicare doesn't cover, depending on your plan, but most of it does not cover nursing homes
Right.
or some
Which
sort
is
of
a big ticket item that
exactly.
could really
and if
reduce your
that's,
equity.
yeah, and that can happen the last few months of your life, and you're stuck with a huge medical bill. And depending, it depends on the contracts that were signed at the time, but if it is an unsecured creditor of that estate, and they'll have access to cash or any, liquid assets or vehicles, things like that, but they can't access the equity in the home as long as it's under $605,000.
Great. And the median home price, as many of you know, because I did a podcast recently, is $450 for the Reno-Sparks area. So the majority, more than half the people fall underneath that.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. So thanks for coming in. Can you tell them the best way to contact you, and we'll flash on the screen your name, your
Sure.
number, and then maybe a website, and we'll shuffle them over to you.
Great. My name is Samantha Amato. I am with Amato Law. Phone number is 775-313-0706. You can email me at sam@amatolawfirm.com, or my website, you can find all that information, is www.amatolawfirm.com.
Now, do you offer some consultations so that someone wants to
Absolutely.
shop around and kind of just meet you and see if
Yeah,
they'd be a
I'm
good
doing
fit?
everything by Zoom at this point. It's
Perfect.
been great, and honestly, I'll probably keep a lot of that forward as long as the clients are okay with it, but most of my clients absolutely love it because
You have to
I
drive there.
can do it on a weekend, after hours, work around their work schedules, lunch breaks, a quick, little break in their office or something. I mean, it's so convenient because it eliminates the travel time.
And the silver lining of COVID is becoming more, high use of our time.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of that with our clients reviewing contracts.
I'd rather have everybody home with their families than having to spend an extra hour driving to and from my office.
Now, will you come back in again?
Absolutely.
Check it out. So, yeah, call her. I can tell you, we're not going to talk price structuring, but it's going to be a lot cheaper for you to be in a trust, and peace of mind is huge, so you can sleep well at night. So give her a call. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
If you guys have any other ideas for videos, or if you like this one, please smash the like button and subscribe. Until next time, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks.
Bye.